Hi guys. It's quite late here, but I thought I would put the camera on and try and get a challenge done whilst I'm planning to do this anyway, because I need to make some. I'm running out. I'm gonna do the molds, the toilet paper molds tonight, and since Anne Hayward, and I know somebody else asked me to do a video on this before as well. I think it might have been Sherry, or was it Sherry? I really can't remember, but I thought I would just come on and do it whilst I'm, just whilst I'm sitting here. I was watching videos, but I want to do something crafty, so it's not like strenuous or anything. It's going to be a relaxing craft. So all I do basically is just, as you've seen there, I just get a few sheets of toilet paper, fold them up, and then just start ripping. It doesn't matter how thick you do it or how thin you do it. Well, it doesn't matter to me anyway, it's never bothered me. I'm going to bring these down in a sec, I'm just getting stuff ready. This is just water that I got today that went a bit warm. So I'll bring these down and you can see what I'm doing. Sorry about my messy table. It is pretty messy. I've no cleaned it up yet. Sorry, but yeah. So I need to make more of these anyway for pocket letters and racks and stuff. So I've not actually used any of these paper embellishments myself, so I might need to use some of them for I don't know, ECCs or something. So what I do is basically wet my brush, go in, give it a wee wet, and I hope you can see what I'm doing. I want 2 seconds. I'll try and bring these down a wee bit so you can see better. 2 seconds. I'll try and zoom these in a bit. I just do it basically. I learned how to do it from Eileen McInnes. So if anybody's having trouble understanding my accent, because I know that a lot of these are, I'm trying to do it clearly so you can thingy, but sometimes my slang comes out, so it makes it harder for you to follow. Hopefully you just get used to it. So as I say, I just get my brush and just wet the inside a little. Then I just start putting my toilet paper in, like that, and you just kind of go back and forth and just make sure it's pushed in really well. Sometimes your toilet paper snaps, just fix it. And these might not be perfect. I know a lot of my embellishments weren't perfect, but they're still usable. So this is all I'm doing. I just go back and forth, just dabbing, wetting my brush and dabbing it right in there, just pushing it right down. And you can get, I got these moulds that I'm using here. Just make sure you get all the little nooks and crannies in there covered. I got this mould from Poundland, my pound shop, and it was with the cake making stuff. Sometimes you can go in and get a wee push down with your finger as well, just to make sure it does get in there. Hopefully. And as I say, I get this from the cake making section in the pound shop. And I have got another one somewhere, but I'm not sure where, so that is why I'm trying to use this one just now. So I tend to look in the pound line every time I go in and see if they've got any new ones in. But lately they haven't, so yeah. And just going back and forth, wetting my brush, getting it a good wet, just pounding all the little corners in. Well, how well you can see what I'm doing here. So I just pound it in with my brush and just make sure it's in there. And as I say, you can kind of push it down with your finger as well. Obviously don't push too hard though, or you're going to end up with like huge big dents in the back, and you don't want it too denty because obviously it needs to be stuck down. And what I do sometimes, in fact I'm going to pause and look for it. No, in fact it's here. What I also do sometimes is I've got really watery PVA glue here that I've added water to, and sometimes I'll do like my first little strip, and then what I'll do is I'll put some of this glue out, and what I'll do is I'll wet my brush, but I'll also dip it in my glue. And before I put my next strip on, I'll just go around with my brush and dab it in there, so it's got kind of glue in there as well to help it stick. And then I'll just start putting my other one in. I'll not clean my brush off right away because it will still have glue on it, and I'll just put my other one in just to kind of keep it together a wee bit. Because I've found sometimes when I do it, it cracks at the sides. If I do it with just water. Eileen does hers with just water. I think, yeah, she does. But I don't know, I find when I do it with just water, I don't know about anybody else. I know that a lot of people are saying that they've tried this and it's just not worked for them. So I don't know like what kind of problems they're having, but I find that when I do it with just water, it cracks at the sides quite a lot. So yeah, but I don't put a lot of glue on it. I more or less just put them on like in between, you know, in between the different, when I'm putting on different strips, really. But I think this will be thick enough. So I think what I'll do, because I've put quite a lot of paper on there, so I think this will be thick enough, because you don't want them too thick as well. Because if you make them too thick, they're going to be too chunky to put on like journal pages or whatever. So you don't want them too thick, but you also don't want them too thin. So when I'm finished, I'll dip my brush in the glue once again and just get another little push on there, just to make sure that it is properly covered. I noticed that the side is kind of still very thin there, so I'm just kind of adding wee bits more on to the sides, like, I don't know, because there's little, I don't know how else can you see that? These bits here, just in at the side, they're a wee bit thinner than the rest, so I'm just trying to put a wee drop more in there, just to make sure it's properly supported. that will just stay in there for a few minutes, and I'll just move on to my next one. Yeah, so yeah, this is what I do, guys. I just move on to my next piece and just do the same. So it's quite easy, but it can take a while to do it. I'm kind of trying to do these quickly so that the video's not too long. For years, but usually if I'm doing it, like, I like to take my time, just so that I know that it's going to work out not too bad. It's going to work out quite cool and not a complete mess. So I like to take my time sometimes, but I'm kind of rushing this one for the sake of the tutorial. So there you go. So now I'm on a new strip, so I'll use some of my glue again and just kind of pound that in there and start again. Just making sure you get your brush right into the sides and just push it all down, right into the sides, right into the corners. And yeah, this can be, like, sometimes your arms can get sore doing this as well. My arm gets sore quite a lot when I'm doing it. So yeah, I don't know how Eileen manages to do it with just water without it like cracking and stuff, but mine always seems to crack when I just do it with water. But I find when I add a wee bit of glue in between, it doesn't always work, but sometimes when I add a wee bit of glue in there, it helps. So I'll put Eileen's link in the description as well for her videos. I think I made my strips a bit long. This kind of reminds me of when I was a kid, and we used to make soggy balls. We used to call them soggy balls. And you used to, like, get your toilet paper and bunch it all up and get it wet under the sink and then throw it at the toilet ceilings in school. Oh boy, we got into a lot of trouble for that. But it was fun at the time. But we used to get into real trouble because, like, they were hard to get down because the ceilings were so high, and it would stick. You would go into the bathroom and and the ceiling would just be covered in all these balls of toilet paper, and it's like they after a while they go hard, so they just stick there. It was quite funny, but yeah, it was the good old days at school. If any of my school friends, my old school friends, watch this, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know if it happened in the boys' room, if they did it, but us girls used to do stuff like that. Yeah, we were bad, but it was fun at the time. but because they were so high, like the janitor on that couldn't get it off. They couldn't reach it to get it off. So they were just stuck there. So funny. But I don't recommend that kids do that these days. Because you could get into a lot of trouble for it. We did. But yeah, it was fun. So that's 2 done. I'm not going to do any more of these, guys, because like I really don't want to keep these for ages. So what I'll do is I'll just get these out and I'll show you. So basically what I do is I get a paper towel, or toilet paper, no paper towel, kitchen roll or whatever, and I fold it a wee bit just to thing it. And then what I do is I put it in to my thing and kind of squeeze it in there, and just squeeze, push it down, squeeze. And what it does is it takes most of the moisture out of it, because these guys do not expect them just to be ready right away. They do take quite a while to dry. Yeah, they do take quite a while to dry. Usually I just sit mine on top of my radiator for a while when my radiators are on, and it dries them a bit quicker. But yeah, they do take quite a while to dry, guys. Don't expect them to be dry like really quick. And even when you dry them with a hairdryer or a heat gun, I find that it makes them wetter. I don't know, it's like it just heats up the water. So there you go. And I'll just finger this. That is a wee bit cracking at the side there, but it's not too much. Can you see the sides? There's not too much cracking. You see? They're not cracking. They are a little, but not much. And I find sometimes if they do crack, you can always tear off another wee bit of tissue, wet your brush, and just get, like, put it over your cracks. Like that. Sorry guys, I'm not even doing it on camera. Just put it over your sides a wee bit. But see, I think it kinda like ruins it, because it adds to your, you know. Sometimes you can get away with it if you put it right at the side and no like really on the top, then you can get away with it. But it's only if it is cracking. But mine isn't really cracking, but I'm just doing this to show you what you can do to fix your cracks, if there is any. So just wet the bit that's cracked gently, and then just put another wee bit of toilet paper over the top, and it should hold it a bit better. And then you just put it away to dry. So there's my jar, and as I say, it's not too thick, so that's ideal. And I'll try and get my chocolate bar out here. It's not perfect, but as I say, they're not going to turn out really perfect, guys. See, look, see what I mean there? Like, I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you see it cracking a wee bit? So what I need to do here is kind of push it together and put a tiny wee bit of paper over this just to kind of hold it together. So that's what I do. Oh, this one's really bad. So that's what I do to fix my cracks. I just kind of put my paper right at the edge, because you don't mind it like if it's hanging over the back, but you just don't want it like really at the front to ruin your design. But I just kind of add little bits on here just to make sure that it doesn't look crack too much. So yeah, and just kind of smooth it down with your fingers. And this side needs a bit as well, because this side's kind of cracking as well, so I just kind of wet it. Don't do it too rough, guys, but because you could end up ruining your whole thing. So you just want to be really gentle when you're adding more paper to it. Really, really gentle. And it just helps keep it together a bit more when it's got cracks on it. So it's like you're putting a little plaster on it. It's like you're cut and you're kind of plastering it up to make it better. So there you go, that's my chocolate bar where a chunk took out it, you see. The little bit took out it. A little bite took out it. So yeah, and then usually after I'm finished and they're dried, I haven't got any at the moment close by, like to show yous. But usually after they're dried, I would go over it with some Mod Podge or clear nail polish. You know, I'd just go over it with some of this. You could probably get away with going over it with school glue as well. Just be very careful, guys, but make sure it's completely dried before you start doing that. But as I say, once it's dried enough for me, I usually go over it with a layer of Mod Podge. And there you go. So there's your little toilet paper embellishments. As I say, guys, just be gentle with them and just take your time. There's no rush. And as I say, if you make it and you find that it's cracking a wee bit, just go over it with a bit of toilet paper. But do it as close to the edges as you can. Try and keep it away from the front of your design. You want it more in the back, because you don't mind the back being a bit messy, but you don't want the front to be messy. So just go over it as gently as you can and wet your toilet paper, put another wee sheet on, and it should fix it. And it shouldn't look so bad. So I need another wee bit here, I've just noticed. So yeah, so that's the challenge for this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you find it helpful. As I said, I will put Eileen's link in the description as well, in case, I don't know, maybe you won't understand what I'm trying to say. I don't know. You might understand Eileen a wee bit better. But there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.